Have you ever looked at your partner and thought, we live in the same house, but it feels like we're miles apart? Maybe they are more on their phone, less present in conversations, or just emotionally gone. If you feel like your partner is drifting away, this video is for you. Today we'll explore why your partner might feel distant, and what you can do, gently and realistically, to start reconnecting. This is for couples in long-term relationships, marriages, or serious partnerships, where the love might still be there, but the warmth and closeness feel weaker than before. Maybe you rarely talk about anything deeper than chores and schedules. Maybe you avoid hard conversations because you're afraid they will turn into fights. We'll walk through real-life patterns that create distance and small practical steps you can start taking without drama or pressure. If your relationship feels more like roommates than lovers, you are not alone. Many couples experience emotional distance at some point, especially with stress, kids, work, and constant notifications pulling attention away. This video will not promise to fix everything overnight, but it will help you see what's really going on and how to change the way you show up with each other. Think of it as a gentle reset button for your connection. Let's start with one important truth. Distance is usually a signal, not a verdict. It does not always mean your partner stopped loving you. Very often, it means something is hurting, overwhelmed, or unspoken inside them or inside the relationship. When you see distance as a signal, you can get curious instead of immediately panicking or attacking. Now let's look at 5 common reasons a partner starts to feel distant, and then we'll talk about how to reconnect in a kind, steady way. Section 1. Silent resentment and unspoken needs. One of the biggest reasons someone pulls away is silent resentment. This is when small hurts build up over time and never really get talked about. Maybe you made a joke that cut deeper than you realized, or they felt unsupported during a stressful time and it was brushed aside. On the surface, life continues, but inside, they start to close their heart a little to protect themselves. Picture this. You come home tired, drop your bag, and go straight to the couch. Your partner is cooking dinner, handling the kids, answering emails. They don't say anything, but inside they think, I'm doing everything alone. If that feeling repeats day after day, they may not start a fight, but they may slowly stop reaching out, sharing, or initiating intimacy. Resentment often hides behind, I'm fine, and it's nothing, forget it. You might notice your partner stops telling you about their day or avoids deep topics. They might still be polite, but emotionally flat. This doesn't mean they don't care. It often means they're full of unspoken disappointment and don't know how to bring it up safely. What can you do? Instead of waiting for a blow-up, you can open a gentle door by saying something like, I feel like there's distance between us lately, and I care about you. Is there anything I've done that's still sitting heavy for you? The key is to ask with genuine curiosity, not defensiveness or sarcasm. And then, most importantly, be willing to listen without arguing every detail. Section 2. Constant stress and burnout. Another huge reason someone feels distant has nothing to do with not loving you. It's stress. Work pressure, financial worries, family responsibilities, or health issues can drain a person so much that they have very little emotional energy left. When the nervous system is constantly in survival mode, it becomes hard to be playful, romantic, or even talkative. They may retreat not from you, but from everything. Imagine your partner has had weeks of pressure at work, maybe a demanding boss or fear of losing their job. They come home exhausted, and instead of chatting, they zone out with their phone, games, or TV. You might read that as, they don't care about me, but in their mind, they might just be trying to calm their anxious brain. The problem is, this coping strategy can feel like rejection to you. Stress can also make small conflicts feel bigger. A simple question like, did you pay that bill? Can be heard as criticism when someone is already overloaded. So they respond with distance, irritability, or withdrawal. Over time, both of you start to avoid each other emotionally because every interaction feels heavy. To respond differently, try separating them as a partner from them as a stressed human. You might say, I can see you're really tired and under pressure lately. I miss you, but I also want to support you. Is there anything I can take off your plate this week? This doesn't mean you become their therapist or do everything for them, but it shows you see their humanity, not just their distance. Section 3. Communication that feels unsafe. If conversations regularly turn into arguments, criticism, or sarcasm, many people cope by shutting down. They learn, when I share honestly, I get attacked, dismissed, or mocked, so they stop sharing. This is how emotional walls get built, brick by brick. Maybe when your partner tries to express a concern, the response they get is, "You're overreacting," or "Here we go again." Over time, they think, "Why bother?" Instead of risking another fight in the kitchen or another tense night in the bedroom, they choose silence. Silence is painful, but for them, it might feel safer than conflict. This doesn't mean you're a bad person, or that they are. Most couples were never taught how to argue without destroying trust. They copy patterns they saw growing up, yelling, shutting down, giving the cold shoulder, or using guilt to control. These patterns create distance even when love is still there. To make communication feel safer, focus less on winning and more on staying connected. Use simple phrases like, "When this happens, I feel," instead of "you always" or "you never." And if you or your partner get too heated, it's okay to say, "I care about this and I want to talk, but I need a short break to calm down so I don't say hurtful things." This is not running away, it's protecting the relationship. Section 4. Loss of emotional and physical intimacy. Emotional distance often shows up in physical intimacy too. Maybe you rarely hug, kiss, or touch without it leading to sex. Or maybe sex has become rare, pressured, or disconnected. When partners stop feeling emotionally seen, their bodies may also start to close off. It's not always about attraction. Often, it's about emotional safety and feeling valued. Think about small, everyday moments, passing each other in the hallway without eye contact, getting into bed and immediately turning to your own screen, never cuddling on the couch anymore. These little details add up and create a cold atmosphere. Even if nothing big has happened, the absence of warmth is felt deeply. A relationship doesn't only die from big betrayals, it can also fade from ongoing neglect. Sometimes one partner feels rejected and reacts by pushing even harder for sex or attention. They might complain, pressure, or guilt trip the other. "You never want me anymore. Any other man/woman would be happy to have me." This usually creates even more distance because the other partner feels like an object or like they're failing a test. Instead, try reconnecting through softer forms of physical contact without agenda. A gentle touch on the shoulder while passing by, a longer hug in the kitchen, holding hands while walking, a quiet conversation in bed without the expectation of sex. You can even say, "I miss feeling close to you. Can we just cuddle and talk tonight?" This lowers the pressure and often opens the door back to both emotional and physical closeness. Section 5. Growing apart without noticing. Sometimes distance appears not because of one big problem, but because life slowly pulled you onto different tracks. Different interests, different routines, different priorities. Maybe one of you dove into career growth while the other focused on the kids, or one started a new hobby that takes every evening. Without regular, intentional time together, partners can wake up and feel like strangers. Picture a couple who used to cook together on weekends, laugh over silly shows, and share their dreams. Over the years, those rituals disappeared. Now weekends are for errands, scrolling on the couch, or separate activities. Nothing dramatic happened, but the shared world between them shrank. Growing individually is healthy and necessary. The problem starts when there's no shared space where both of your lives overlap in a meaningful way. If everything becomes yours versus mine instead of ours, the relationship starts to feel optional, not central. That feeling easily turns into emotional distance. To address this, you don't need a perfect romantic getaway or a huge gesture. You can start by rebuilding one or two small rituals. A daily 10-minute check-in after dinner, a weekly walk without phones, or a simple Sunday coffee where you talk about something deeper than logistics. Sets. These consistent small moments are what rebuild the bridge. How to gently reconnect. 5 practical shifts. Now that we've looked at common reasons for distance, let's talk about what you can actually do. Here are 5 gentle shifts you can start making, even if your partner is not actively working on things with you yet. Shift 1. Move from accusation to curiosity. Instead of, "Why are you so cold lately?" try, "I've been feeling some distance between us. And I miss us. How have you been feeling in our relationship?" The goal is not to catch them doing something wrong, but to understand their inner world. Curiosity invites honesty. Accusation invites defense. Shift 2. Own your part without drowning in guilt. Every relationship is a system. That means both partners influence the dynamic, even if one person's behavior is more visible. You can say, Looking back, I see times I shut you down or didn't listen. I'm not proud of that, and I want to do better. This shows maturity and makes it safer for them to open up too. Shift 3. Create small, predictable moments of connection. Instead of waiting for some magical big conversation, build tiny habits. A morning. How did you sleep? And a real answer. An evening. What was one good thing and one hard thing about your day? These small check-ins shift the atmosphere from purely practical to emotionally connected over time. Shift 4. Respect their pace. If your partner has been distant for a while, they might not instantly open up the first, second, or even third time you reach out differently. That doesn't mean your efforts are useless. It means their nervous system needs time to trust that this new, safer pattern is real. You can be consistent without begging, forcing, or chasing. Shift 5. Take care of your own emotional world. It's easy to become obsessed with getting them back and forget yourself. But the more grounded, self-aware, and emotionally stable you are, the easier it is to show up with love instead of panic. This might mean journaling, talking to a trusted friend, or even getting your own support so you don't put all the pressure on the relationship to fix your feelings. What if they don't respond? Sometimes, even when you make changes, your partner still seems distant. This can be deeply painful. In that case, your job is not to twist yourself into someone you are not, but to stay honest and kind while also respecting your own needs. You are allowed to say, "Connection matters deeply to me, and I can't ignore this forever." You might choose to have a clear, calm conversation. "I've been trying to reach you and change how I show up because I care about us. I'm not seeing much response, and that hurts. I would really like us to consider talking to someone together, or at least agree to regularly check in. What do you think?" How they answer gives you important information about where they stand and what they're willing to invest. No video can make that choice for them, but you can choose not to abandon yourself. Outro and gentle call to action. Emotional distance rarely appears overnight. It is usually the result of many small disconnections, unspoken hurts, and seasons of stress. The good news is that closeness is also rebuilt through many small, intentional moments, listening a bit deeper, softening your tone, reaching out with a hug, or asking one honest question instead of making one harsh comment. If this helped you see your relationship more clearly, let today be the day you take one small step. Maybe a sincere apology, a curious question, or a simple, "I miss you, and I want us to feel close again." You don't have to fix everything at once. You just have to start shifting the direction. If this video gave you even one helpful insight, subscribe for more gentle guidance on navigating love, conflict, and connection. In the next videos, we'll talk about how to argue without destroying trust and how to express your needs without pushing your partner away. Your relationship deserves care, and so do you.